These are the agenda topics that I want to go through. Try to explain what the Webolution is all about, how it's moving, what is its influence on society and commerce. Then what are the impacts on hospitality, at least some of them, in terms of how it's going to affect your business. It's affecting every business. It's going to affect your business in very dramatic ways. What are some of the implications of this that you need to begin thinking about if you're not already doing so? And then talk about what I consider to be a network hotel or a network club. The reason I say this is that the internet revolution or the Webolution is creating this network as a platform through which you and I are going to live our lives and do business. And organizations have to organize themselves as networks. This is the way it will go. No longer a hierarchy, no longer a pyramid. Those things are collapsing. This is a global phenomenon. It's not a European textile revolution. This is something which is sweeping the planet, and it's going to change everything in a very dramatic way, I believe more dramatically than what the Industrial Revolution did. I believe that the internet revolution will make the Industrial Revolution pale into insignificance. That's how big this is. Global in scope. And I believe it's unwinding and reversing much of what the Industrial Revolution put in place. When those hand looms went out of the cottages and steam power came along, it became possible to have something called a factory. There weren't any factories until then. They were the first mills, the first factories. And we created this industrial era model of mass production, mass consumption, mass marketing, mass advertising. And that era is being smashed to smithereens by this Webolution. We now have the concept of mass customization. In other words, going back to focus on the individual. Before the Industrial Revolution, production and consumption took place in the home. It was a home-based society. Economy was based there. There were no cookie factories. There were no bread factories. There were no jam factories. People did all of those things themselves. And this machine here is a productivity machine. It's a golden loom. Because the new commodity of this economy is knowledge and information, which create productivity, which create improvements in wealth and value. And that's why we're experiencing this prosperity. So this is tremendous change, and we need to have to understand what it means for us in our lives and in business and for the customers that we're going to be dealing with. Network economics. I believe, and I wrote back in a book in 1989, that I said we're going to have a super boom that's going to run from the early 90s through to around the year 2020, or maybe around 2018. I said there'll be an economic slowdown around the year 2000, there'll be an economic slowdown around 2009, and there'll be an economic slowdown around 2018, and maybe we'll peak out at 4.5% that we've been experiencing. That means a lot of affluence, and affluence means more customers for you in your businesses. Are you ready to upscale? Do you have the ability to handle this extra volume of transactions of customers, the expansions of your companies or clubs which is going to take place? You need that scale-up capability in your organizations as the economy keeps growing, as prosperity keeps coming.